Okay, Coach, you're obviously back here in the country as an ambassador for the Carling Cup. Just how did this come about, and how are you feeling to be involved with the tournament?
I've always been involved with Carling since 2017 when I started with them. So yeah, I've always just been close contact, but they've asked me this year to be a brand ambassador, which I politely accepted, and I think it was amazing just to be part of this, because I think it's such a unique experience. And like I said, South African football is on the up. We see with the national team, but you also see how competitive the Betway League has developed. You know, it's now no more just a one-horse race, but there's Pirates that came into contention, and I think Stallies is slowly but surely also there and thereabout. Hopefully, you know, we can get Chiefs and the likes of Cape Town City, we can get them as well back on track. But teams have good players, good young players. But this Carling competition in particular is special because it's just of the uniqueness of where they involve the fans with that, and it's also a platform where fans can not just watch football matches, but you know, you can make money on the side of it as well. And I think that's always a good thing when there's an incentive to it, you know. And we want to get fans back into the stadium, and this Carling Black Label knockout provided the fans with that opportunity. And like we said, we did see a huge spike of having fans at the stadium, and you also see better performances. So that was just a small part that I could play in, and you know, engaging with the fans and encouraging people to come more to the stadiums and support, and so that we can see better football and more goals, of course.
Coach, just to add into that, what does it say? You've played this cup when it was just two teams, and you've done your magic there, you've spoken about it, that the hate is still there. Looking at now, having all the teams having a go at the cup, in the Carling Knockout Cup, and now into this Carling All-Stars being chosen, it's probably something like that we've hardly seen in football. What does it say to a Benni of yesterday playing today?
That I wish I was still playing, because where do you get 100,000 match bonus? And I know man of the match performance, and you get massive bonus, and that's more than what players earn at some clubs. So you know, it's a great incentive. But like I said, I think the exciting part is now that all teams can experience the involvement of being part of the Carling Black Label, not just the Soweto Giants, which was amazing for while it was there, but also now to give other teams opportunities to where you can have a David Slaughter Goliath situation, because in the league, we all know for the past 4 seasons, it's been just one-way traffic, and Sundowns have completely dominated the league, and no other teams have really got close to them. But in the cup competitions, it's an opportunity where it's a one-off game. You have the couple of 4, 5, 6 games, then you find yourself in the cup final. And in the league, it doesn't happen that way. So it was just a nice platform where teams can get involved, and there you have it. You know, you have the Magesis who surprised loads of people, but also people are excited about Magesi now because of what they showcase in the Carling Black Label knockout. So, and hopefully that form then can now move into the league stages, because we want our league as excited as the Carling Black Label Cup was.
So speaking about the one-horse race, there was talks about you meeting with the one-horse race in Europe for tea. Did anything come about it? Has there any been contact again after that?
I love how you put that so nicely. Met for tea. It was we bump into each other at the airport, and that basically was it. We recognized each other, and then we just spoke in general. It was more just a European football chat, you know, because I think he Fleming just explained the time when he worked for Chelsea as one of the international scouts, and he was based in Portugal. And it was at the same time when I was playing at Porto. So we basically just touched on that, talked about a football, modern day football and South African football, and that was it. Never came up where there was insinuation from his side or from my side that there could be a collaboration of joining the club that he was working for. It was just honest, just normal chat, and that was it. Because I think the club, they've made the decision with the coaches that they have, and yeah, they're doing well. So I don't see why they should go in and interfere there. And just because I'm no more at a club doesn't make me, available to join. And like I said, I want to challenge. I want to challenge if it's the right project for me, and it concurs with the club that's interest, then those are the challenges that I want. I don't want to just go into any job just for the sake of, because I want to coach. I'm not that desperate. So I'm enjoying my time with my family. I'm enjoying just going to watch different football clubs, speak to different coaches, and expanding my knowledge on coaching and how the coach I want to be, and how I can improve myself as the football is changing. And that's what it was. But there was nothing formal about me meeting with any South African clubs.
Coach, you've outlined in previous interviews specifically what you're looking for in your next job. Said that they must be winning the league, they must be a big competitor in Africa, that is if you do come to Africa. You also spoke about your admiration for the MLS. You didn't hide that at all. Why so specific about what it is that you're looking for? Is it because you've earned your stripes now and now you can put yourself in that category?
I think, yeah, everyone, you have to learn to walk before you can start in a sprint race. And I think I've crawled my way in. And that's where when I did my coaching badges, that was me crawling, because I played the game at the level that not many South Africans have played, that doesn't make me an expert in now. You take the experience from a player into coaching, but I went and educated myself, started right at the bottom, and then worked my way all the way up till I got my pro license, which was in a period of 5 years of my life that I dedicated to go in and educate myself in a coaching way, as much as I know on the field what it takes to be a player. But as a coach now, I also know, and I'm still learning. So I've done that, and I became an assistant coach in Belgium. I worked in Scotland as well with Celtic and Hibs, also just learning my trade and learning from the coaches that I had. And then I got my opportunity at Cape Town City, and that was also me still crawling, because I was a rookie coach. It was my first time on the job as a head coach, and it was okay. There was a lot of things that I didn't do well, but it's part of learning. And then Zulu, what I've learned from my experience at Cape Town City, I took over with me to Zulu, and also I made mistakes, but I also thought my journey into becoming the type of coach that I want to be, I was edging ever closer to that. So that was me now at the bottom feeding, and the Man United opportunity came, and that's now when you're in the elite category, then you get that. And how many South Africans can ever say that you even dream of having such an opportunity? So I did that. Yes, I wasn't the head coach, but I was part of a technical team that had to change the club's fortune, and we did that in some degree, So I think, now I think I'm what I've learned, what I've gained, everything, the experience with the caliber of players that I've worked with. I think it will be a crime if I go back now all the way to the bottom. So I think my standards that I set now is that level that you want to work with, that level of players where the job that you go into, you become almost what Arsenal did under Arsene Wenger. You want to become invincible. I want to manage a team now that I want to have consistency, not just for when you play the games that matters, but every game, if it's friendly matches, I want to coach players, I want to have a team that have that mentality. Friendly games is cup finals, you know, so that's the standards that I set. So yeah, so unfortunately, I know you're reaching high, but if you don't want to reach there, then you might as well not do it. And that's my standards that I set for myself. So that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to get. I'm sure of that.
Benni, Pirates are back in the Champions League now, and they've made a very good start in the league. The way you look at things and your experience with these things, do you think they should prioritize one or the other, or try and go at it on both fronts?
Listen, I think Pirates done amazing so far. You know, they have, but as you put it rightfully so as well, at some point there's going to have to come a point where you have to prioritize, especially when it becomes tough, because Pirates are, pardon me, they've not played in the Champions League for a couple of years now. Sundowns have year in, year out. So they are probably more advanced than Pirates in this situation, with all the travellings and then coming back a day before a match and then having to prepare or ready to go and tackle and play in the league. So it's going to be tough for them. So I hope they have a big enough squad and enough squad depth that they can rotate, because they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to rotate. And that rotation have to be spot on as well. You can't be thinking, you don't need to win these games, because I think when you're on the heels of Sundowns, it's continuously. They're a machine. They know how to win. They know what it takes. So Pirates gonna have to deal with that. But I think they can manage. They're managing so far really good, and it's just about how much they can keep their best players fit. That's the most important. Not getting injuries and that. But I wish them all the luck, because so far so good, and it's only another strength for South African football, you know.
If I can have a second bite of the cherry, in a prior conversation with your agent, he said that there were advanced talks with an MLS club, but because the season is coming to an end, it will probably only happen next year if it were to happen. Maybe you can just give us an update on that and maybe how it has gone.
Yeah, and I had 3 teams I've spoken to. I had interviews with technical directors from 3 MLS clubs, and like I said, their focus now, their league came to an end, and one of the teams was in the playoffs and 2 didn't make it. So so now they will assess and look at their season, and then decide on the coaching change probably, and I will probably get to know within the next month or so how things will go. But I'm optimistic about that, and like I said, I think I'm global now. I'm not just South African anymore, you know, and I want to expand. I want to spread my wings. Pizzo is doing it, even though it's not EPL or that, but he's the one that's setting the standards, and now someone else needs to follow, and I think I'm in the perfect position to do that. So I want to follow in that footsteps. So hopefully something comes of it, because I think I've got a lot to offer. You know, I'm a young coach. I know the game inside out from a player's perspective and now from a coaching perspective. And I know the do's and what not to do. So I'm not, and I think the club that I do end up coaching one day, they'll be better off.
Coach, if I can take you back just a little bit last time. How things unfolded at United? Did it leave an overall a bitter taste because you leave and then 4 months later that technical stuff that you worked with also leaves? Maybe you could, I don't know if you could have tried to hang on a little bit longer?
No, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really my decision. Everything was just unfolding so quickly. The new ownership, new takeover. So obviously there was already that rumor in the air that the new owners, they are looking to bring in a coach of their preference, not a coach that they already found there at the club. So that was, and you saw in the off-season were them looking at few different options, and then at the end when they didn't get what they wanted, they go on. And my contract was also coming up to an end, and I was in conversations with the ownership, with the leadership, but in my head already, for me, I thought I was ready to coach. You know, I loved my role there. It's the club that I supported as a kid. You know, I still do, and I loved what I was doing. But just once you sit on that driving seat, it's difficult to go and sit at the back or be in a passenger. So I was itching, and you know, so that urge was just really coming. And I honestly, I would have probably been in a massive pickle if the club had asked me to stay on, to sign a new contract, what I would have done, because my heart was wanting to coach, and I thought 2 years was enough for me, you know. Not that it was at one of the best clubs in the world, but when you want to coach, you can't fight your desire, and that was my desire. So it was up. So when the club also never offered me a contract, so it was just far more easier to walk away than that. So there was no bitterness. I absolutely loved the club. Now I'm still back to being one of the biggest supporters, just not with inside the club, but I speak so to a lot of the players because of the relationship that I have with them, and yeah, so we touch base, and that's it.
Drop names?
Sorry?
Drop any names?
Drop names of?
Yeah. Players that you still communicate with?
Really good players and important players.